United States as it prepares to meet the world's best in Beijing? The answers are next at the USA Olympic Wrestling and Judo Trial. Filing in, it's a 2008 U.S. Olympic Wrestling and Judo Trials. 66 kilos, 145.5 pounds. The U.S. Nationals runner-up, Jake Deitchler, a senior in high school from Minnesota.
All right, my name is Jacob Deitchler. I am a 26-year-old male. I was raised in Anoka, Minnesota. I currently reside in St. Michael, Minnesota. My main sport is wrestling. So I wrestled, from the age of 6 years old up till about 22, and now I coach wrestling for a living full time. So kind of seen the, the whole cycle from each end, and really rewarding what I do. Want to talk a little bit about concussion today. Back at 18 years old, I made an Olympic team in wrestling, and I was able to compete at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing.
And a big power move by the 18-year-old from Minnesota.
As far as history goes with my concussions and where I started and how it started for me was, I was actually riding a dirt bike at the age of 7 years old, and it came, the back end came up, hit me in the back of the head, and I don't remember anything for about a day. Woke up about a day later at my grandma's, and that was my first traumatic brain injury at the age of 7. After that, there was a gap in years as far as when I was getting them, not again until about high school. So when I got to high school, it basically went one per year. Throw in maybe like my senior, maybe there was 2 of them in there, but I'm getting, 1 per year from about 9th grade, and then the next 3 years after high school, where I was getting brain injuries.
If he can win this period, he will represent the United States in Beijing, just 18 years of age.
After high school, I moved out, again to talk about my story, I moved out to the Olympic Training Center where I had one. And unfortunately, the care, it was one of the greatest training facilities in the world, but as far as medical staff guiding me, there was so much variability, there was so much judgment that came into play, but it was different with every person I saw. And really, to be quite honest, when I got to University of Minnesota, I have to give a lot of props to the people that were my support system. That was one, Coach Jay Robinson, and our athletic trainer, Rich Schlofeld, who at the time, they said, you know what, Jake, we're going to do whatever we have to do to figure out what's going on. And nobody had ever really sat down with me and said, we're going to do that. So, granted, I had tried to seek out my own answers and own things, but there was just nothing standardized. There was nothing that was really tracking this process. So it was a lot of, again, it was very vague. I never got answers. So they sent me to a inner ear specialist. They sent me to doctors, actually, around Minnesota, doing hearing tests, balance tests, and nothing really got through to, okay, what's going on. And then really when things change is when we have what's called the ImPACT test.
If nobody scores here, if Deitchler cannot score, Farouk will win this match. He has to score here, and it's up to him if he can execute.
And I was able to use the ImPACT test to track my symptoms, my reaction, how I'm healing, how I'm hurt, where I'm at. That was the best gauge.
Deitchler digging and lifting.
At the end of the day, that ImPACT test is designed to do one thing. It's designed to test your brain in 5 different ways, the 5 different parts of your brain, and it's going to track it. So let's say, little Joey, start football season, takes the ImPACT test before season starts, like he should. As my opinion, every athlete should. He gets hit 3rd game of the season. They're like, all right, we're going to do, since he took his first test, he established his baseline. Now he's like, hey, you know what, Joey, let's go check to see how your reaction is. You think you had a concussion? Let's take you out of the game. Let's have you take a test on Monday at school or after practice. Sure enough, he takes a test, and they're like, wow, your short-term memory is off, your reaction is off, and it tests these different parts of the brain. And sure enough, that is, in my opinion, the best way of judging Joey. All right, you know what, you have a concussion. You are not cleared to do sports. Long term, we have your best health and interests, so we want to make sure you're okay before you come back. Now you take out the judgment. You take out the, what one trainer says or another trainer says or the coach says or the parent says. This test is designed to trump all that.
The 18-year-old Jake Deitchler up 3-0. Is headed to Beijing. What a moment.
And I seriously tell everybody this, one thing, get the ImPACT test.